Hello guys, Boy Bijuman here, and today we're gonna go for the Miami Grand Prix, round number 5 out of 22, season number 1 out of 10. Although I don't think we'll make 10 seasons, but we will see about that if I make daily videos as I'm doing right now. Although it is very early days to say something like that, we will see, only time will tell. Now, as always, the first thing that we're doing is the activity timeline, and as always, once again, the thing for our second driver is going to be as close as they can to the weekend. Now, I don't know exactly what I was doing. I think someone was talking to me in this kind of stage. I have my mic muted, so you will see me getting like that, not moving for a bit. But we are the third worst car. We have moved backwards, but the field is so bunched up. Like we're not in the third last car. Every truck, well, not every truck, every car has almost the same performance. Because if you saw how it was like almost the same performance. If we do some updates, like some good updates, we will be so much ahead. But on the sassy side, I think there we are. That it is keeping us behind. I can't really talk right now, but on the error side of things, I think we are okay. But I think I'll need to focus on the sassy side in these days. So yeah, but we do aerodynamic for the Spanish Grand Prix. Spanish is going to be the Grand Prix after the Miami one, after the one in Miami. You have a personal department event. We are going to train him. Although I don't think he does something. I didn't really notice that when I was playing, but I now notice it, and we will have two upgrades in the following 4 days. But the Venturi tunnels fail. But will we be able to make them? Yes, we are. At least they won't fail for the Spanish one. And let's see for the central undertray, and it fails too. So bad weekend, but we can also get it, and it will come in for the Spanish Grand Prix. But we're going to choose autocross. Now in autocross I got the silver. Could have improved on my time, but went a bit slow on the start. But 500 acclaim is 500 acclaim. And with that, we're now going to qualifying for our first time here in Miami. Now it's not going to be my first time here in Miami. I've done some practice off camera when I got to the game. It's a track that I don't really hate, but I don't really like. It's in the middle ground. I think there are too many traction zones and things like that, especially in the wet. And I'm saying that because the race is going to be on intermediate conditions. You heard me right, on the intermediate conditions, and noise, I think that is, would not pass us. And if you saw, our MGU-H is on 74%, and this is a really bad thing because we are already out. But I'm going to try to get a new engine, and let's go to the race.
Formula One has arrived in the Sunshine State for spectacular sunsets, gentle breezes, warm waters, and for what will be a fantastic race day here at the Miami International Autodrome. Well, it's certainly not sunny here in the Sunshine State. A lap of the Miami Grand Prix features 19 corners and 3.36 miles of track around the Hard Rock Stadium. But these conditions should prove especially difficult for all of our drivers today. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Russell, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Perez, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, and Valtteri Bottas, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Esteban Ocon, and Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, Joe, Alex Albon, and Lance Stroll, Vettel, Oscar Piastri, Latifi, and the owner driver. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. Joining me on this very wet day is a man who's no stranger to driving in miserable conditions. Anthony Davidson, you've driven open cockpit, you've driven sports cars. How does the wet weather experience change between the different disciplines?
Well, I wouldn't say there's much difference in all honesty. You know, besides the terrifying closing speeds you find in something like sports cars with different categories all sharing the same racetrack, driving in the rain is, well, driving in the rain. Of course, the biggest difference is the fact that Formula One is open cockpit. On one hand, they'll be cold and wet without a roof, but on the other, it's much simpler to pull a tear-off away from the visor than it is to clear a dirty windscreen, so I don't think it's too bad.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Okay, so we have to make a stop, whatever we do. And we can do a one stop or two stop. I am choosing the one stop because we are in a much slower car and we just can't make the time, and it's wet. It's intermediate conditions. I think I needed to say that, and only that. It is hard to overtake, and this is my first time driving in a race in the wet, in the inter conditions, let alone the full wets. But skipping the formation lap, we're now going to the end of it. I still need to warm up my tires a bit, so I'm doing what I usually do, lock them up, lock the front wheels and spin the rear ones. And it's a tough one because I will know what the optimal temperatures are for the inters, but we warmed them up good, I think, and 5 guys are out, and we are on the way for the Miami Grand Prix. We're starting now our first of the 29 laps, and we get an amazing start. We may even get up into P10 somewhere, but no, we get up to P12, not far away though, to be honest. But we unfortunately lose at P12 and go down on the P13, and many people in the faster car are behind us, so we will get overtaken, and there was quite some time because we're in a slower car, but the gap is not that high as I said, so I don't think there will be that much of a gap, but my skill in the wet is just so bad that Tsunoda has already created a gap of 1 second. And there in the Mickey Mouse section, the AI are a bit bad, but Ocon is still behind us and we're squeezing him. And we're gonna go to the inside. Ocon leads us a bit, but he can't go as much as we can, and he crashes on Tsunoda. He has gotten front wing damage and he goes into the pits for a change. Now this has caused an unscheduled stop for the Alpine team, and this pretty much Ocon's race over and ruined. And we make a mistake here. Magnussen will overtake us, but not quite still. Now he does, and that means that Schumacher is right behind us, and we need to push, but that pushing has cost us time because we made a mistake and make a second one, and that leads on to Schumacher overtaking us. And now Stroll is behind us. I think we can't get like upwards from now, especially now. Well, not especially now, but I don't think we can. And yes, we make a move, well, not make a move, we try to make a move on Schumacher, still fighting for P14. I know he's faster, but we need to be as close as we can to top 10 in case a safety car happens. And this means if there is safety car, we will keep the position and maybe get a free stop. If we still haven't pitted, yes, it's going to be a free stop. If we still, then it's going to be bad luck for us. But we move on, we overtake Schumacher, and now we're going on lap number 3 on one lap further, one lap ahead. Schumacher will try to make a move. We don't squeeze him as much as Ocon because it resulted in a crash, and we tried to switch back a bit, and this has caused us to have a worse exit. And that means that Schumacher is now ahead of us, but that means that Albon is right behind us. He was just behind us on our gearbox, and he almost made a move, but he locked up and got straight on the Stroll. I don't have any replay just to mention, but I don't think we'll need a replay because I think we saw it quite good. And now on to lap number 5. Albon is looking to make a move once again. We brake quite early because we don't want to get a sidewall damage in case he makes the same mistake. And that now leads us to being ahead of Guan Yu and behind of Albon. Now Guan Yu, he's a fast guy, and that means he will overtake us in the same lap as Albon. Or maybe not, but here he comes, and we just can't do anything. He just overtook us so easily onto the turn 8, I believe, on turn 10, or not 10, but yes, this 10. But onto this Mickey Mouse section, the AI are slow, but I may be even slower over the exit. And this bad. Now, one lap further ahead, and I think we got now wing damage. We may have gotten, but we won't beat because in this game damage is not that bad, and Latifi goes for a move, but we can't let that happen. And well, Latifi to overtake us, I won't do that. I won't let that happen. But we go ahead, and we're now on lap 9. Ocon right behind us, and remember, Ocon had front wing damage because we squeezed him too much, so I'm gonna let him by. Looked like I didn't, but I did. I let off the throttle because I feel kinda bad that I ruined his race, but we move on. And we go on to lap number 14. These are pit windows, so we're coming into this lap, quite cutting the white line, but no penalty means we can do whatever we want. I've seen some people say that you can't get a penalty, but I've not gotten a penalty for doing something like that, and we get an optimal turn in. Let's see what our boys can do, what a pit stop they can do, and they can do pretty good stop. Unlike last time at Imola, they did a good stop, because in Imola, they made a mistake. The rear left made a mistake and couldn't like get the tire out, so it made us slower. Now 2 laps ahead, Latifi is behind us. Will he overtake us? Can he do it? He's looking on to do a move on turn 1. We try to do the switchback, and Stroll comes out of nowhere. He comes out of the pits just ahead of us, but Latifi is unsuccessful on that move, so he'll be stuck behind us for now, and only one lap ahead. Guess what? Vettel does the same thing, and it may be even worse, because if he got maybe like a tenth was pit stop, we could have been alongside him, but I don't think it would have made anything, because he would have overtaken us once again. And going with lap number 23, we've gotten floor damage, and we have blue flags. We are blue flagged. We are letting the Ferrari be bad, but Sainz really wanted to get ahead of us as early as he could. Lap number 27, we are quite slow. We're using all our ERS that we have. We are squeezing him almost a second, but not as much, and just couldn't make the move. We're on the outside, unlike the thumbnail shows we were in the inside, but yeah. Oscar Piastri now wants to try to make a move, and guess what? He is successful. Now we are second last because Stroll is speeding for no reason, and we're just going to the end of our race. Lap number 28, we got lapped, so one lap less, I guess better for me. So yes, it was a Miami Grand Prix. Finished basically last or second last. We somehow got a driver of the day, but I don't know.
That's a fantastic performance from Ferrari. It hardly looked in doubt. Tell me, Ant, how do they manage to achieve this win?
Rain always has the potential to liven up a race and mix up the order, and they've taken full advantage of that to claim the victory today. It's always a bit of a lottery when the conditions are like this, but they've managed to stay on circuit and have come out on top.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari do it again.
So, this was the Miami Grand Prix. Sainz, Verstappen and George Russell finishing the podium. So, how's the Miami Grand Prix? Bad. Maybe our second worst Grand Prix. Well, second worst Grand Prix for now. It is, because Imola was the worst one. And it could be like that for many seasons, let alone maybe for our entire career in this game. But I'm gonna have a worse weekend than Imola one day, but we'll see about that when it's going to be like that. We lose 3 points to Daniel Ricciardo. He gains 5 on us. Well, he gains 3 on us. He gained 5, we gained 3, so no, we gained 2. So that was the episode. I've got to end it here. So if you enjoyed it, leave a like, smash that red button to not miss out on any videos like this, and I'm going to see you tomorrow, hopefully for the Spanish Grand Prix. See you there. Bye bye.